This whole project took about a week to get done. They had just built this water park. They've got a pretty large pump house set up down here. They wanted it covered with something that they didn't ever have to change out again. And the idea here was to just make this thing disappear because you could see it from the stairs as people were walking up. So we went with the same color as the wall and just made the whole thing is just gonna disappear into the background. It came out really great. This is gonna add a lot of life to their equipment. It's completely wind resistant. This thing can handle anything.
Reimagine Roofing was started 5 years ago because I wanted to help bring some professionalism to the roofing space. I came from the solar industry before and I just wasn't happy with the professionalism and the sharpness. Coming from the Marine Corps, I really found it important to have professionalism in everything I do, and so that's why I started Reimagine Roofing.
This was a request by the Desert Ridge Marriott. They had just built this water park and they've got a pretty large pump house set up down here. And it was just getting baked by the sun, and that's a lot of money to be baking under the sun. So they wanted it covered with something that they didn't ever have to change out again. And out here in Arizona, most people use the fabric type shades, systems. So we went ahead and built saddles on the top of this wall because inside there's a lot of pumps and pipes and whatnot. There was two of the corners where we couldn't put actual posts, and we didn't have room on the outside of the wall to put posts either because of this large slide. So we saddled the wall and put some large heavy duty 1/4-inch beams in here and span that whole 30 feet. So we basically just put a nice cover right on top of it's a CMU wall, by the way. So we were able to put nice big carriage bolts right through it, and that's what stabilizes those saddles. So yeah, let's come take a look. These are the type of saddles we use. We can adjust the sizes for whatever wall we want. They're set up for an 8-inch CMU wall. So on the inside, you can see how we set those up and we size them out. We just put some space gaps in there and it makes them solid as a rock. A lot of this job actually happened off-site. So building the saddles happened off-site. We were here for one day just getting everything all set up. Another day we had a big 75-foot, 80-foot boom. We have all these trees and things going in, so we only had one area to get these big long beams in here. But that took all day, setting these beams up. And then there's another 2 days of finishing, grinding, prepping for paint. So altogether, it's about a week's of work into this. Today, the roof goes on all in one day. So we usually give a little bit of breather room for the painting crew to come back. And on this job, we got hit with rains over the weekend. So that was fun. We had nice clean steel when we set this up. And then when we actually came to paint, there was a bunch of sanding that had to happen before we could do that. So we always try and beat the rain, but we weren't lucky on this one. Came out really nice though. The paint job came out great. The idea here was to just make this thing disappear because you can see it from the stairs as people were walking up. We're gonna be able to see from the top down. So that was something that was important to them, was just have something that looked clean, hard lines. We went with the wide rib. We do this for a number of reasons. A lot of companies will just use corrugated or PBR panel for this type of application. The wide rib allows us to use less steel on the inside, allows us to span a lot further. It also gives a more architectural look on the ends of them. It just looks better. It looks more modern and more resilient having those they're big 7.5-inch, 7.2-inch ribs, each rib. So real gappy, real chunky, and it works great for setups like this, especially where you have something visually happening. People are looking down. It looks cool when it's done. Some of the fun things on this project was getting the steel in here. As you can see, there's all these trees and this big pillar. So there's only one way in. So we had a pretty large boom truck. I think we had an 80-foot boom lift, like a boom fork. And we just very gingerly put these beams in here and set them into place. This whole project took about a week to get done. There was about a day of off-site fabrication to build all the saddles, another day to set all those in, another day where all the steel went in and gets tacked up, another day where all they do is do all the welds and grind downs, and then painting takes 2 days. On this one, it was kind of fun because we had rains that hit us on the weekend, so they had a whole extra day of sand down and whatnot, and that always adds dimension to the job. But it came out really great. The paint job that they were going for, because they've got a lot of colors happening here, they just wanted it to disappear. So we went with the same color as the wall and just made the whole thing is just going to disappear into the background. But this is going to add a lot of life to their equipment. It's completely wind resistant. This thing can handle anything. Yeah, this was a fun build. There's gonna be a lot of people looking down on it. So now we gotta make sure we snap lines and get our screw lines in one nice straight, whatever. I don't know what you call that. Aesthetic. Hard line from the slide. Yeah.